Greetings, grace, and peace. This is Bob Hayes here, wanting to add my voice with the voices of so many others who are wishing Bishop James Swanson a successful retirement in the days to come. Bishop Swanson, even though you are from Houston, my hometown as well, I'm excited about the fact that you are now at that point where you're ready to leave the field, but not the call. Thank God for what you've done. Thank God for what you will do. And just know that you're in my prayers. I wish you and Delphine all the happiness and joy in the world as you turn the page to the next chapter of your life. Be good, be safe, be strong, and God bless you.
Bishop James Edward Swanson Sr., it gives me great pleasure to share a word on behalf of Gulfside Assembly, Inc. and its board. You have been a stalwart for us in the ministry to which we have been called here in Waveland and beyond. The word speaks about your reliability, your support, and the way that you have been a visionary for us to remain steadfast, immovable, and abounding in faith. For you and Mrs. Delphine, we wish you the best in the next chapter of ministry. May God richly bless you and keep you is our prayer.
Hi, Bishop Swanson. This is your good friend, Jim Jackson, of 35 years here in Columbus, Georgia. Congratulations on your retirement and best wishes to you and Mrs. Swanson and the entire family. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Ivy Taylor, and I am 12th president of Russ College, an HBCU in Holly Springs, Mississippi, which is supported by the United Methodist Church. When I arrived at Russ College in June of 2020 to assume the role as president, one of the first people that I spoke with was our beloved Bishop Swanson. Bishop Swanson was an early supporter of my leadership here at Russ College, and he has been a consistent supporter of Russ College in general. I appreciate the bishop's efforts to connect me with leaders in the United Methodist Church. Despite the pandemic, he made virtual introductions for me with several very important people throughout the state. He's been a sounding board and someone who has provided consistent guidance. I'm so sorry that I won't be able to continue working with the bishop. I appreciate his generosity in continuing to stay throughout the pandemic, as I know the plan was to retire earlier. Well, I appreciate what I've been able to learn from the bishop throughout the short time we've worked together. And Bishop, I certainly wish you the best in your retirement season. I pray that it's everything you ever dreamed for.
I am James Crosse, a longtime friend and parishioner of your Bishop James Swanson. I have been asked to take 1 minute to share some thoughts of our time together with you. Bishop Swanson, it is 34 years since we first met and shared lunch with Jerry Woodbury, Gilbert Ramsey, and James Jackson. As you will recall, we were introducing you to one of our Columbus District congregations, my congregation then, that was suffering the adverse effects of demographic change in its location. In addition, you were being asked to assume its pastoral leadership. Being fully aware of the challenges you were being asked to face, you accepted this appointment. Serving my church for 14 years on faith and a strong belief in the adage, God prepares, guides, and strengthens those he calls. The congregation grew and flourished. The Journal of the South Georgia Conference and its local and the local church profile of the General Globe of Ministries Planning and Research Unit, along with my church's new sanctuary and pastor's office additions, are testimony to your labor and your ministry with us. As weekly worshipers, many of us enjoy and are most satisfied with the sermon, others with the music and singing, and yet others with just the worship ritual. I admit to being of the first group. Bishop Swanson, as you all know, is a 5-star deliverer of the message. I will always remember, however, one of his sermons on forgiveness. Not only did it improve my life, but it changed my life forever. My extended 1 minute is over, so I must close. We in the South Georgia Conference join with you, our brothers and sisters in the Mississippi Conference, in congratulating Bishop Swanson on his retirement. And both you and Mrs. Swanson on your dedicated service to our United Methodist Church. Shalom, and may God continue to bless you and your family.
Bishop Swanson, this is Michael Ugwueke wishing you a wonderful retirement. I really want to thank you for the incredible job that you did serving on our board for almost a decade. You were very instrumental in all the progress the system has made over the last 10, 15 years. So I just want to say thank you. We're going to miss you. I know that you're looking forward to moving to Georgia, spend some time with family and grandkids. But whenever you're in town, please feel free to reach out. And if not, I'm going to hunt you down in Atlanta since I have some friends there as well. We are very, very grateful for your service to the health system. Thank you for all that you did.
Greetings in the name of the Lord, my friends. I want to offer my heartfelt prayer and celebrative words for Bishop Swanson, Bishop James, as you officially celebrate your retirement, for the many years of service that have marked your dedication in many ways, and most recently as the Bishop of the Methodist Church here in our beloved Mississippi. So God bless you in this transition. I was privileged to be part of your 70th birthday party. And, you know, for such a young man retiring, I'll just accept that. But that experience just showed the great love of your family and the family you will be spending much more time with. So, although I heard it through the grapevine, it is true that you are retiring. And may the Lord bless and keep you. May the Lord let His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord love you each moment in the time ahead. God bless you.
Hello, my name is Melvin Blackwell, and I have been a long member of St. Mary's Road, me and my family, since roughly 1992-93. And I'm here as a representative, and I humbly say that I'm glad to be here, but I want to wish Bishop Swanson and his family much success in the future for their retired status. And we thank you so much for what you've done for St. Mary's Road and created the expansion that you did when you were here. But before I go any further, I just want to say, wow! You don't hear me. Bishop Swanson is a pilgrim. He establishes St. Mary's Road to be a foundation and a pillar in the community, and we thank him so very much. He is a true messenger of God, and we thank you for your service, sir, and so much success for you and your family in the future. Congratulations.
Bishop Swanson, at your retirement, these are the words I would leave for you. They are the words of the Apostle Paul from 2 Corinthians 5:18. They read, "All this is from God, who reconciled us to himself through Christ and has given us the ministry of reconciliation." When I think about that passage, I remember a conversation we once had at a BMCR meeting. Do you remember it? It was marked by honesty, openness, and a willingness to listen. It was marked by a spirit of reconciliation. You brought that spirit to the Connectional table, and I know to the whole church. I know that in retirement, you will continue to bring that spirit to the world. It is so very much needed. Thank you, my friend, and God bless.
My friend Bishop James Swanson has served with distinction as a pastor, district superintendent, and Episcopal leader. He is a person of courageous spirit and hospitality, joined in ministry by the esteemed First Lady of the Mississippi Annual Conference, Mrs. Delphine Swanson. Bishop Swanson was serving St. Mary's Road Church when we first met. We were at a clergy retreat at Ugwueke by the sea, and let's just say a one-on-one basketball game cemented our connection to one another. Bishop Swanson calls people to be determined to excel. He shares personally and with others an emphasis on winning people to Christ. Even as retirement approaches, I am confident that those attributes will remain steadfast. To describe Bishop Swanson in one word is to say that he is courageous. He has a deep-seated intentionality about him. When he feels something that is important for him to share, he will take that step, whether it is received graciously or he is in a place where he is out there by himself. He is willing to take those next faithful steps. Even if it doesn't benefit him personally, he is willing to speak up for the benefit of the whole. Bishop Swanson, as you embark on this next step in your journey, Felicia and I wish you and Delphine the very best. May your worries be few and your joys be many. Thank you for the leadership you have provided across the connection and for the support and encouragement you have shared with me and with so many over these years of active ministry. We are all grateful for the lasting impact of your ministry, and I am deeply grateful for your friendship.
My wife, Margaret, and I wish James and Delphine Swanson the very best in this new chapter in their lives. We have loved the Swansons ever since we got to know them. It was a joy to serve together, to put him on the cabinet and to serve with him in that way in the South Georgia Conference, and then to serve with him in the Council of Bishops. To be a part of his life and ministry has been a joy, because Bishop Swanson has as much energy as anybody I know anywhere, and I'm going to find it interesting to see how he goes into retirement and how he actually lives that out. God bless you, James Swanson. You are a joy, a witness to Jesus Christ with enthusiasm and exuberance. God bless you and Delphine as you begin this fresh, new, glorious chapter in your lives and ministry. God bless you.
It is my joy to join in the celebration of the ministry of Bishop James Swanson. Bishop Swanson, when I think of one word to describe you, it is wisdom. There have been numerous occasions when you and I have been in a group together and you have spoken a wise word. Sometimes it was a word that simply needed to be heard. On other occasions, it changed the course of the meeting. And then, as you know, there have been times when I've called you to talk about a difficult, challenging circumstance. Without exception, you have always offered a wise insight to me. I know that you will continue to bless the church and others with your wisdom and with the many other gifts you have as you enter into this new chapter of life. My husband Lee and I wish you and Delphine the very best in your retirement.
Family, Families are circles of love in which no one wants to let go of someone else's hand. Bishop James Swanson created a unique family atmosphere at St. Mary's Road United Methodist Church. We became a church family who truly loved and cared for each other. Although some members have moved away or transitioned to their heavenly home, we still are that family which you created. I am endeared to you and Mrs. Swanson because you trusted me to keep and love little Joshua and Janae. In fact, I was the first church adult that little Joshua would come to as a toddler. Many Sundays after church service, these toddlers would follow me to my car to spend the afternoon with me and my pet dog, Coco. Please accept my wishes for a smooth transition to this next phase in your lives. God will truly bless you and your family because you have been such a blessing to so many of us. Much love to you, Maxine.
Hi, I'm Rob Pearigen, president of Millsaps College. It is my pleasure and privilege to congratulate Bishop James Swanson on his upcoming retirement and thank him for his service to the Mississippi Conference of the United Methodist Church. When I came to Millsaps College, one of my first priorities was to strengthen the college's relationship with the United Methodist Church. As a member of the college's Board of Trustees, Bishop Swanson helped articulate what that relationship would look like and what it would take to make it a reality. His role in bringing our strategic plan into fruition through the hiring of the Reverend Dr. Joey Shelton and the renovation of the Selby and Richard McRae Christian Center will be recognized and appreciated for years to come. In addition to this work, Bishop Swanson has also supported our efforts to address issues of race and inclusion in our community, connecting United Methodist Church leaders and laypersons to Millsaps Truth, Racial Healing, and Transformation Center for training in the center's principles. Thanks to Bishop Swanson, important and often difficult conversations are taking place, and work to eradicate racism in our community and promote healing is taking root. Bishop Swanson, you are and always will be a treasured part of the Millsaps family. As you begin your retirement, I want to share some words from a book of blessings by John O'Donohue, an Irish teacher and poet. This is where your life has arrived after all the years of effort and toil. Look back with graciousness and thanks on all your great and quiet accomplishments. You stand on the shore of a new invitation to open your life to what is left undone. Let your heart enjoy a new rhythm when drawn to the wonder of other horizons. On behalf of the Millsaps College community, thank you for your calm leadership and for encouraging our community to be who God created us to be. We wish you well as you look to other horizons.
I bring you greetings on behalf of the General Board of Higher Education Ministry, GBHEM. I also bring greetings on behalf of the International Association of Methodist Schools, Colleges, and Universities, IMSCU, as well as the Education Committee of the World Methodist Council, the WMC. We celebrate the ministry and the legacy of Bishop James Swanson Sr., who has been working with us for many years. When we think about him, the word that comes to mind is global education. We've been working in many countries, realizing the importance, how key education is to the Methodist tradition. We cannot have theology without education, health, address poverty, climate change, racism, and many other challenges we face today without first educating ourselves and educating our communities. This is the legacy of Bishop Swanson, and we thank him so much for all that he has done throughout the world to affirm the importance of education, the Wesleyan and Methodist tradition. I've been with Dr. and Bishop Swanson for many years in many places around the world, Korea, Brazil, Zimbabwe, and other places. So it is on behalf of all those around the world that I celebrate this moment. I greet you and I wish you God's blessings in this new moment in your career, in your ministry. Thank you so much for your service.
The one word that I think describes my relationship with Bishop James Swanson is kingdom. Through my relationship with James, I came to realize and experience a real picture of the kingdom of God that is not just near, but here and in our midst. And I'd like to share three really quick examples of that. The first one is the breaking bread together. He and I and Bishop Kopacz from the Roman Catholic Church broke bread together. Well, probably more specifically, we broke waffles together and/or oatmeal together at Cracker Barrel once every couple of months. And we joked, we laughed, we prayed, and we shared strength for each other within our ministries. And it was really a unique and holy picture of the kingdom. Another example for me was the many projects that we worked on together interdenominationally, and also in the larger world, throughout the state of Mississippi, as well as in the Jackson area. It was my really honor and privilege to work with him as we made sure that a Christian voice was added to some really important issues for God's people throughout the state of Mississippi. And one moment in particular that really comes to mind for me about the different voices that we represented was a time when we were, actually the three of us were guests on the Paul Gallo show. And as you can imagine, a Roman Catholic bishop, a Methodist bishop, an Episcopal bishop, and Paul Gallo had a great representation of different political points of view and opinions. But we had a great discussion on there, and I'll never forget, as we brought that discussion to a close, our host had said something, and I'll never forget Bishop Swanson saying, whoa, wait a minute. I got something else to add. He wasn't about to allow that time to come to a close without making sure that his voice and a particular perspective was clear and was heard. And that particular perspective at that moment was one that spoke for God's people and the community of faith. And then the last example that I have of a picture of the kingdom with him was when we were both brand new to, I was a brand new bishop in Mississippi. He was brand new to Mississippi as well. And we were invited to I think it was like a battle of the choirs or something like that at First Baptist in Jackson. And so we showed up at this thing and we're seated next to each other, and it was packed. And there was it was a midweek thing, and there was choirs from all over the Jackson area and from all different denominations. And so what it differed from that we normally see on Sundays is that it was diversity. It was incredible diversity of faiths and Christian traditions and people. And it was really an amazing thing. And I'll never forget when Bishop Swanson and I were sitting next to each other, and there was a moment where we were hearing some incredible praise music interspersed with some classic hymns. And as we were standing together, holding hands, holding them up like that, and I just thought to myself, this is what the kingdom of God is meant to look like. The kingdom of God, which is not just near, but here and in our midst. And so those are some, those are three examples of kingdom that I've experienced with him, and I'm grateful for the relationship that I have with him, and grateful for this relationship we shared as leaders in Mississippi. And well, lastly, James, let me say, this is to you. I'm jealous. I'm jealous that you're moving into retirement. I'm jealous of you as you move into this next phase of ministry, but I'm excited for you. So excited for you. You've offered so much to the Christian community in Mississippi. You've offered so much to your denomination, and frankly, you've offered so much to me and others. So God bless you on this next phase of your ministry, and thank you. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for the presentation of the kingdom of God that you gave me, and thank you for your ministry. May God bless you now, and may God bless you always.
Bishop Swanson and First Lady Delphine, Nancy and I just want to express our thankfulness and gratitude for you, and as you embark on this new season of retirement. You're retiring as a bishop, but you're going to keep going, I know. But we're so thankful for you, and I know the Mississippi Annual Conference is thankful for your years of service, just like I that came out of the Holston Annual Conference. In 2009, you put me on the cabinet there in Holston, and it changed my life forever. And I'm eternally grateful for you and what you shared with me. When I think about words, you taught me a lot of new words like huckety-buck and things like that. And so I kind of use that as well. And so that was kind of neat. But I learned so much from you. But what I learned most of all is your wonderful heart for God and for people. And God created you to preach and to proclaim the good news and the gospel. And that's really one of my fondest memories as a district superintendent. You know, you and I traveled around to a lot of churches, and you preached, and we got to share a lot of meals together. And I just learned so much from you. And I always say you're the one that got me into this bishop thing. And most days I'm grateful for that. But I'm just thankful for your life. And Nancy and I just wish both of you well as you move into this new adventure of the retired season, but we look forward to our ongoing relationships. But we're just thankful in this moment for your life and for your ministry and for you being a bishop all of these years. You have touched so many lives, countless lives, so thank you.
One of my fondest memories of the Swanson was a weekend that I spent with the two of them. And I had planned, along with Delphine, a surprise trip for me driving all the way alone to Savannah, Georgia. Now you have to understand, I don't drive anywhere by myself, and certainly not 5 hours to Savannah, Georgia. But when arriving there, I spent so much time trying to convince Bishop Swanson, who was Superintendent Swanson at that time, that I actually made that trip by myself. It was so funny that he kept running outside the home and around the home checking to see if someone was hiding out. That's the reason why success never gave up on you. The past has taught you, but the present gave you hope, and the future will only shine more of you. The good news is you're moving forward in the right direction. And the bad news is, well, I can't think of any bad news. I'm just going to celebrate this new chapter with you and pray that you enjoy the ride along the way, my friend. I know that you'll have so much fun while taking on the world. Godspeed. God bless you. I love you. Cynthia.
Greetings. My name is Gil Hanke, and I'm the recently retired General Secretary of the General Commission on the United Methodist Men. In the middle of a frantic day at the 2012 General Conference, I was trying to get all the general secretaries together so that we could pass a piece of legislation that would allow our boards to continue to function, which we all thought was a good idea. But at the same time, I had one of my staff members trying to get attention to me and trying to tell me something. And so I finally stopped and I went over, and Martha Davis, who was at that time our COO, said, "You aren't going to believe this, but Bishop Swanson has been appointed to our board." As you remember, Bishop Swanson, within a few days, I made an appointment to meet with you at your office in Knoxville. And, you know, you started serving us that day, and you have served us through this entire journey that we've been on with distinction within our board, within the places worldwide that you have been and that we have been together. as vital as you've been to the General Commission, you've also, because you're in that international level of appreciation, you also helped other general agencies, including the Connectional Table, in an important way to restructure their work. Bishop Swanson, you're a bridge builder. As you have welcomed publicly the men of AME Zion, and CME churches, denominations, to join us in our efforts for men to spend some serious time in prayer every day. You built a bridge privately in Norway when we spent what was supposed to be a dinner that went in way after midnight, meeting with two young people in Norway, from Norway, who were trying to help their denomination realize that a way to get young people into our denomination is through scouting. When there were hard decisions that needed to be made, you made them. And you did it with care and with caring for everyone involved. Bishop, there were some interactions that we shared publicly where you had your role as the bishop and I had my role as the general secretary. But there were other times when we both needed a safe place to share our hearts. That kind of leadership and that kind of friendship is uncommon in this denomination. But that part of our relationship together is what I treasure. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for the work that we did together that we loved, to bring men and youth into an ongoing relationship with Jesus Christ. Well done, good and faithful servant. Bishop, you are loved.
Swanson. Joann and I would like to congratulate you and Delphine as you guys enter this new phase in your lives.
We remember all the fun times that we had together, and we would just like to be able to do some of those things again with you and Delphine.
Remember the fashion show, the Boy Scout activities?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Biscuits on New Year's?
Oh my goodness. And if you come visit, I'll make some more of those biscuits for you.
They're not as good as they used to be.
Oh yes, they are.
Looking forward to seeing you guys. Congratulations again, and may God continue to bless you.
Okay. Well, one of the, I would say, fond memories, people may not think this is a fond memory, but at my father's funeral, Bishop Swanson preached, as I said before, my father's eulogy, and he said to my mother in his exuberance, Ms. Lewis, make sure that since Mr. Charlie is not here, that the children take care of you. And so, you know, we were all sitting there nodding our heads. So when my mother would not think that we were taking care of her, she would remind us, remember what the bishop said? And we would be like, what did the bishop say? He said to take care of me. I'm like, Mama, we're going to take care of you. And so that became somewhat of a family running joke, because literally out of the blue, she would just say, you know what the bishop says? And we would be like, yes, we know what Bishop Swanson said. But as I've just shared before, I've known Bishop Swanson for 45 years. I met him when I was 13 years old. I was a youth, and he was the senior pastor at Brandon Chapel United Methodist Church in Statesboro, Georgia. I would just like to say to Bishop Swanson as well as Mrs. Swanson, it has just been a blessing to get to know them and also to be on a Christian journey with them. They have always been, for me, I would say, a model couple. And he has always been, I would say, also a model Episcopal leader. And it is a blessing that I was 13 when I met him, and now I am 58, and I am on the Council of Bishops with him.
Well, when I was going to college, I went to Andrew Junior College. My dad was on the Board of Trustees back then, and whenever we used to take the road trip back from the house going there, we would sat around and talked with one another, and he would, inside and then let me listen to different music that he wanted to listen to, and I also give him a new hip hop that was coming out, and so we would sit around and laugh and giggle about that, and then have different things to eat and missing the deers in the road and stuff like that. I mean, just normal day-to-day stuff in life,
Anything you want to say?
We love you, Bishop Swanson. Thank you for installing a deep love for Christ and to my husband and his siblings. And thank you for the little slice of heaven that you brought down to this earth and being an awesome kingdom builder.
My fondest memory of my dad goes a long way back. As a kid, my dad used to put us in front of the TV and we would watch wrestling. And it was one of the it was so fun to watch and root for your team and boo the bad guys. So we would actually do it in the house. Him and I were teammates, and then my two older brothers, they were teammates. And so we would do the tag team thing, and it was always so funny because he was so much bigger than all of us, but he would pin them down and I could go in and lay on him and we would always win the match. So that was just one of my fondest memories of being with my dad, is like wrestling with my brothers and just, I don't know, getting together and doing things like that. It was just a lot of fun. We've always had fun and a lot of laughter.
So one of my fondest memories, and how it helped me in my faith journey, is one time when I was in high school, he made me wash his car, and I'm the youngest, and I wasn't ever made to do stuff like that. So I was mad, I was annoyed, and I didn't like it. I still don't like the idea of it, and I didn't do a good job. He got mad at me, and because I just kind of threw some water on there, some suds and everything, and he had said something along the lines of, how hard you'll work at something you don't want to do shows how hard you'll work at something you do want to do. Mm-hmm. And he was saying that you should use that to, like, if I didn't want to work on his car, and I didn't put in that much effort, I won't put in that much effort when it's actually stuff I want to do. And that's translated because when I try to read or when I try to study the scriptures and grow closer to God, I know that I have to put in time and I have to put in dedication to do it. Things may not be in the time I want to. I may be tired and things of that nature, but if you want to grow closer to God, if you want to walk in that journey or in those steps, then you have to put in that time and work and everything. And I mean, he never made me wash his car again, so I don't know if I don't know how that ends. I guess it ended up well for both of us. I mean, he got his car kind of washed, and I got a good life lesson out of it, and I didn't have to wash it again. So, there you go. Oh.
My fondest memory of my father-in-law is meeting up for holidays. We love to play dominoes. We play this game called Mexican Train. And Joshua is very competitive, I'm very competitive, and my father-in-law is very competitive. They taught me how to play the game, but somehow I became really good at it, and we always have the best time, and I usually win. Yeah, but that's my most fondest memory. I love playing games with him and everyone else in the family, so yeah.
So how has having Bishop Swanson as a dad impacted your life and your faith walk?
He impacted my life ever since I was a little kid. I used to see him preach, and it was good. So he impacted me as in giving my mind that I do interpret the words to encourage me to do more and more, and that's the reason why I love my daddy.